Hi everyone, welcome to a Stamping to Share tutorial. My name is Kalthoff and today we're going to make this really cute card and I'm going to show you how to do it. It uses some of our Spring Catalog 2014 items, and so let's get started. The first thing that we need, of course, is stamp sets, and I'm going to be using two today, one of which is a background stamp that you can find in our regular 2013-14 catalog, and it's called Positively Chevron. And the other stamp set is in our Spring Mini of 2014, and it's called Perfect Pennants. So let's go ahead and get our paper. The first thing that we need is a sheet of crumb cake paper. I've cut it in half the long way, so it's 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I've scored it at 5 1/2 inches. And what we'll need to do is stamp the background directly onto this piece of paper. So I've got a bone folder here because I want to make a nice crisp fold. We are going to need this to be nice and flat for when we're stamping. So then we're going to take our Chevron background stamp, and I've gone ahead and I've put it on a block F. That's our largest acrylic block. And I have our crumb cake ink pad, and I'm just going to ink up this Chevron, Positively Chevron background stamp. Get it nice and inky, and then I'm just going to leave it sitting right there. And I have a piece of chipboard, I call it my press board, and I am going to take my card that I've already folded in half. I'm going to put it face down on top of the background stamp, and then I'm going to take my press pad and I'm just going to press that all around until I feel like I've pressed it everywhere evenly, and I release it, lift it up, and I have a perfectly stamped background. So that's how I like to use background stamps. There's other ways that you can do it, of course, too, but I find this to be the most convenient, and it makes the least amount of mistakes for me. Now you might notice this is the one that I've just done, and this is one that I did a couple hours ago. The ink does lighten up after a little bit of time, so I'm going to set this aside and use the one that I had stamped previously. And the next thing is we get to use our Stampin' Up! Banner Framelit dies. Now I like to label my dies so that I kind of know what numbers I was using, and for this particular card I was using this one, which I call number 5. I label them 1 through 6, and then I also used the 3. And so those were the two banner label framelits that I used. Then I also used some new paper that came out in the Spring Mini, and it's in our Fresh Prints pack. And I went ahead and I used so much of this that I really do not have a very good representation here to show you because the paper pack is more than half gone. And so it's been well loved already, and I've only had it about a month. This is how I cut the paper so that I could get 2 cards from each piece of paper. So I just measured out on my cutter 2 3/4 inches, made my first cut here. Then I measured another 2 3/4 inches and made a cut here. That leaves me 1 inch here at the end. So I just trim off a little bit up here so that I have a 4-inch strip of paper that I can use at the bottom of my card, and then then I just cut that into 2, so I have a 1/2 inch piece at the bottom of each card. I'll show you what I mean. That carries the theme from the front of the card into the inside of the card. Alright, so I have gone ahead and I've actually used my framelit to go ahead and cut this already, and I have cut one of those Fresh Prints into a banner shape, again using my number 5, and then I went ahead and I stamped Make-A-Wish, which again is from the Perfect Pennant stamp set, and cut that with the number 3 pennant. And so now we just have to adhere it onto our card, but we also want to do a ribbon wrap, and I am using our new ribbon in the Spring Mini Catalog, and it's called a Natural Chevron ribbon. Really nice to work with, and to adhere it to the card I like to use snail, and I'm just going to run a line of snail all the way down my natural ribbon, and this will be very sticky. There we go. And so I'm just going to set this down here for a second because I want to go ahead and adhere this pennant up in the upper right corner of my card. So I'm just going to take some glue, and we're just going to put a little bit of glue at the top. The reason I don't want to use too much is because I want to have a nice loose and flowing banner at the top here. So I'm only using a little bit of glue at the top of the banner so that I can keep it nice and loose. So that looks good. I think that looks good. There we go. There's our look. Then we're going to take our chevron ribbon, and I like to start from the inside of the card, and I'm just going to set it about an inch in right there. Like I said, I've cut about 10 inches. Then I bring it over, and I'm going to set it across the top of my card. See how that goes over the top of the banner. Make this nice and even. And then I bring it around again to my card on the inside, and I just keep pressing along. And then I want to trim this up, so I need to use a really sharp ribbon, scissors. So I have the Stampin' Up! Paper and craft scissors here. Just going to trim that at an angle. And it just fits in perfect. You can hardly see where it starts or ends. And that is adhering the ribbon to the front of the card. The next step is to adhere the Make-A-Witch. And so I am going to use a couple of dimensionals, and I'm going to set these down, a good ½ inch from the top of the banner. I don't want to have them adhering to the ribbon. I actually want to adhere them to the paper. So I'm just going to set this right here, just off to the right edge, and bring that down so a little bit of the ribbon shows over at the top. And so that's part of our card. Pretty much close to done, but we need to add a couple of embellishments. And we have some new buttons in the catalog. These are basic metal buttons, and the best way to adhere those is with glue dots. So I've got my glue dots here, and I'm just going to, being extra careful, put 2 glue dots on this button, and then I'm going to set it right here in the corner. Now it looks kind of naked sitting there all by itself, so I'm going to add some silver twine ribbon. I'm sorry, silver baker's twine. It's a new product in our Stampin' Up! Catalog. It has the, it's a new product in the Stampin' Up! Spring catalog, and it has a little bit of a silver edge to it. Look at how much that just spruces that card up. So again, I've gone ahead, I've pre-tied the bow, and then I'm just going to add a glue dot to that bow and set it right here on that button. And it is truly the finishing touch to this card. And then of course on the inside I'll add my strip of paper, but for some reason I left that in the other room, so I'm just going to leave it off for now, but I assure you I will add it later after this video. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.